swinging toward leaving the IMU powered up, powering down the LGC.
Forgive me if I put you on the spot, but how would you classify this situation as regards to these that we are familiar with a little bit?
I'd say this is a serious situation that we have ever had in manned spaceflight.
At this moment, all power has been turned off in the command module, and the crew are living on the emergency battery power supply of the lunar module. Houston says that they will get back to Earth alive only if the lunar module's systems work perfectly all the way. So, for the first time in the history of spaceflight, there is no backup system to save them if anything goes wrong.
Banking on dangerously short supplies of oxygen and power and mostly coolant water.
They've had to use the descent propulsion system of the lunar module to put them into a turn trajectory to bring them back to Earth. That firing has gone successfully as far as we know.
Good evening, everybody. In the bleak, black silence of space, a real cliffhanger, as you of course have heard by now, still going on. The crippled Apollo-13 spacecraft swinging around the moon, attempting to limp home as best it can. The three men aboard, Jim Lovell, Fred Hayes, Jack Swigert, now dependent solely on their lunar lander, the Aquarius. Depending on it for all water, oxygen, and power. All happen to be in short supply, with nearly 3 days yet to go. Jim Lovell indicated to Mission Control a short time ago how weary they've become.
We're going to have to start thinking about getting back to sleep again because we've gone a hell of a long time on these flights.
I tell you, it gets cold up in there. I don't know whether we'll be able to sleep up there tonight. It must be about 35 or 40 degrees.
The latest problems for the unlucky Apollo-13 and for the astronauts came late tonight when carbon dioxide began building up in their spaceship.
Apollo-13 is still walking a tightrope far out in space. Here at the Command Spacecraft Center today, they took one whole shift of flight controllers out of mission control and set them to thinking up ways to get around the problems still ahead. One of these problems involves the air they...
Jack, I think you asked if the canister mod was working, and the answer is sure as hell is.
Tomorrow's re-entry sequence is a very tricky maneuver, quite different from the normal return to Earth. Since Monday night, the Apollo-13 astronauts have been living in the lunar module and depending on it for life. About 6.5 hours before splashdown, the crew will leave the LEM and transfer to the command module in the center of your picture.
She's just right down in front of our windows now here.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe, looks like a lot of debris is just hanging out inside near the S-band antenna.
Roger, yeah.
She sure was a good ship.
There are some pieces of metal apparently blown apart by Monday night's fuel cell explosion, which are flying alongside the spaceship. If one of these pieces of metal should lock onto the heat shield during re-entry, it could, in its burning, burn a dangerous hole in the shield. Those are some of the reasons, and there are others, why nobody is taking any chances and nobody is thinking of anything other than getting these men home safely.
The main room at Grand Central all morning. I think
think there still is a foreboding about this flight. How do you feel about it? Have you been worried about them?
Very much so. I've been saying a prayer for their safe return.
Here in Mission Control, the scene from the recovery ship Iwo Jima has been flashed up on one of our large screens for all of the flight controllers to watch.
And this is what they
We have about 1 minute to go now from time of end blackout.
Apollo 13 should have entered the Earth's atmosphere at this time.
Odyssey Houston, standing by, over.
It's wonderful to have them back with us.
This is Dr. Payne speaking. I'd like to pass